So in this video, I'm going to be doing a VOD review of Saevid and Letshe. If you guys don't know, Saevid and Letshe are one of the most underrated EU duos right now. They recently came third in the recent EU DreamHack Grand Finals, and they're really popping off, and they work really together, they have great chemistry, and they're doing it off of a drop spot that is not as powerful as some of the others. So I'm basically going to be doing a VOD review of their game that they won. This was one of their best games, one of the best duo games that I've seen in quite some time, and I hope you guys do enjoy this video. So hopping right into it, they obviously land Flush Factory, and basically they're trying to revolve around that brand new meta of fishing. And what they're trying to basically do is they're trying to, adapt and just kind of work around that to get floppers and get sealed fish in order to survive during that late game. So right here, as you guys can see, they're scouting around and they're talking about various different teams that land around them. That's basically called scouting when you drop. That's a really important thing that all teams playing in these stacked lobbies should try to do. So right here, as you guys can see, Letshe is continuing to loot. He's basically getting all of the ammo boxes, getting all of those chests, getting all of the weapons that he possibly can, while Saevid is going around this little island and he's going to fish. He's trying to get as many floppers and as many shield fish and as many slurp fish and just general fish that he can, because fish is really useful. They're really useful for heal-offs, they're really useful for endgame, and they're useful for a bunch of different things. Right here, continuing on to their late game, they're going to go over to this house. This house has a bunch of fishing holes at it, and it also has an NPC who you can use to upgrade and place bounties with. They try to do this every game, They try to do this every game where they basically go and they place a bounty using this NPC to see who's around them and basically gain that map control, because you essentially have sort of mini wall hacks on basically everybody who's near you. And right here, they notice that there's a team near them, so they decide to plan their rotate based off of that. So as you guys can see here, they're starting to rotate towards the backside of Slurpy Swamp because they know that there's a team towards their east side, so they're not really in the mood to fight right now. They're trying to play a little bit more passive this game because of the kills that they've gotten in other games. So this is a really smart choice. They're trying to rotate to that dead side in order to farm those placement points and be in a better position to position for mid and late game. So coming into our mid game, Letshe and Saevid decide to go into Slurpy Swamp or go kind of around it in order to try and fish a little bit more, try to scavenge to see if there's any leftover loot, and also just try to get some more materials. They have pretty good materials here, but Letshe, as you guys can see, does need a little bit of brick and he does need a little bit of metal. So they're trying to get into a better position for the end game here. And what this is called is it's basically called playing full endgame. If you guys ever watch pro players, you guys will probably notice that they say, I want to play full endgame. That basically means they're going to be doing what Saevid and Letshe are doing here. So as you guys can see, I've paused on basically their circle right here, what Letshe and Saevid are trying to do, and you guys will see later as we go into this VOD. What they're trying to do is they're stopping in Slurpy Swamp, and they're going to try to rotate through Weeping Woods after everybody else has already gone through Weeping. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to be tanking Storm, using all of their fish to just tank Storm a little bit. That'll just basically give them a better viewpoint on the circle after this circle right here, and that's actually a really good strategy. I think I've said many times in all of my videos to never be scared of the Storm, and that's really being embodied here. You guys need to make sure that you're basically getting yourself in a position that will, put you in a better position in the next zone. So always think ahead. That's basically what Saevid, who's the IGL, is doing here. So right here, they rotate into Weeping Woods in order to tank Storm and to get a better rotate for future zones, just like I said before. And as you guys can see, Letshe is playing with a purple sniper, which is really useful. Once again, if you're not playing with a sniper this season, you're not playing Fortnite correctly. And basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to, set themselves for Surge. That's going to be happening later in the game with 50 or 30 players that's going to be happening. So they're basically trying to look for some people that they can take a couple of shot at and secure their Storm Surge on. So after they've gotten a couple of tags, what they do here is they rotate into Coliseum area on the uncontested side of zone, which is where they are right now. They want to try to just get into that position that's going to secure them a good, late game position. So as you can see here, Saevid and Letshe are trying to go for a kill. They basically just need a kill in order to solidify their Storm Surge, and they're basically also trying to get a refresh on materials. As you can see, their materials aren't too great right here, and also they are only 28 above the Storm Surge threshold, which is not really good. So as you can see here, they're trying to be really quiet. They're trying to use that element of surprise in order to get a kill. They're being really quiet outside of an enemy player's box, and they're trying to wait for him to come out so that they can get the quick kill on him and carry him back to their tarp and get the headshot snipe on him, which, if you guys don't know, headshot sniping a knocked player does give you all of that surge. So that's really important. You guys need to, just consider that if you're playing in any of these surge lobbies. So the player comes out right here on mark that I just made, and basically they get the kill on him, which is really good, and then he starts holding, and basically they take this player back to their tarp in order to, secure that Storm Surge damage. So once again, they do the headshot snipe in order to get the max surge. And right now, they're pretty much chilling on surge, and they're pretty good on materials as well. And they'd like to play the edge of zone. They're playing the edge of zone right here, but they're going to be trying to rotate, a little bit closer into that zone in order to get maybe the next zone, which is one thing that you really have to think ahead about. That's the thing about Saevid. He's not really used to an IGL role, but right here, he does it pretty well. He likes to, think ahead in the future, which is one thing that's really important with IGLs nowadays. So right here, we're getting into our late game, and as you can see, they're trying to get a little bit closer to that other side of Coliseum that's more deep in zone. So right here, what Saevid does is they try to go for height. They try to just secure the height early so that they won't need to secure it later. Basically, they're going all in. They're trying to get this height before anybody else can, and they're trying to, make it sure that it's worthwhile. And as you guys can see right here, they are on the edge of zone, and what they do right here is they position on the edge of zone because if half and half pulls to them, then they'll pretty much have a guaranteed top 5 or top 10. So they're trying to, kind of plan ahead for that future. Once again, that's the biggest recurring theme that I see with this duo. Basically, they're trying to plan in advance just in case, something goes south. They have a bunch of mats. They have 4 floppers, 6 minis, and that's just one person. Saevid also has a bunch of loot, bunch of mats, all of these various things. So it's really important that you guys take the lesson of planning ahead away from this trio. So as you guys can see right here, Letshe's playing a bit more of the support fragger role. What he's trying to do is he's trying to reinforce their base. He's trying to kind of look around to see where potentially enemies could take away their height from. And that's just a really important role to play. You guys need to realize if you're a support player or a fragger, one thing you should always be doing is if you're just standing around, just shoot the enemy. Like just, apply some pressure, gain that map control, gain that kind of mental control over your opponents around you. It's really important, and I don't see that enough. Right here, they're looking for a couple of tags just in case they do need them. And they're also deciding to play a bit safer and, wait for zone and just play patient because they really don't need to get any kills here. They're pretty good on everything. And one of the biggest issues I see is people pushing for dumb kills and dying to them. So right here, they're just waiting for zone patiently and, it's just how you play. So right here, they're trying to acknowledge the other high grounds. As you guys can see, there's one over there, southwest area, and then there's also one to their south, as you guys can probably see. What's going to happen here is they are going to get zone, and once they pull zone, they decide that they're going to basically tarp over to the other high ground, and they're going to try to connect to it in order to further solidify the high ground that they've already claimed. And this is one thing that's really important. If you have height and you don't get zone, that doesn't mean that you always need to drop. You basically just need to ensure that position on high ground. It just depends on how many mats you have and what the utility and resources you have are. So as you guys can see here, they do pull zone, which is really good. And Saevid basically calls for Letshe to stay at the back of the tarp in order to reinforce and basically ensure that they're not going to get shot out or anything. So basically what Saevid's trying to do is he's trying to stay ahead and he's trying to basically rotate the trio, or the duo, sorry, into the next zone. So as you can see, Letshe is staying behind. He's trying to look for some kills, and he's trying to just, reinforce it and make sure that nobody's trying to take height. And as you guys can see, Saevid basically calls for Letshe to basically make sure that nobody's going to be ramping up on them and trying to take height from them. And Letshe does notice that somebody is trying to ramp up and take height, so he tries to, hold it, and he eventually ends up holding it, and which is a really good, type of call out from Saevid right there. So right here, Letshe and Saevid are playing on a pretty quiet high ground. As you guys can see, Letshe's kind of just walking around following Saevid. I feel right here, Letshe should be trying to spray a couple more people. He's kind of just looking around, not really doing too much, but that's the only really critique that I have with this endgame play. He should be trying to shoot at people. He should be trying to hold people. He should be trying to get as many kill points as he possibly can. If he got a bunch of kill points here, he could have possibly won the tournament. As you guys know, they placed third, but this performance was still fantastic, so I have no complaints other than that. So right here, Saevid gets dropped into a box, and he does end up getting a kill, which gives him an RPG and a bunch of floppers. So now they're in a really good spot in order to secure this win. Basically, what Saevid's going to start to do is he's going to start to spray down on the low ground with his RPG in order to pick up some kills. So right here, as you guys can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pause it. As you guys can see, Letshe is playing in the back of the tarp while Saevid is in the front of the tarp. What Saevid's trying to do, basically, is Saevid's trying to, shoot people from the front down to the back, and Letshe's trying to shoot from the back down to the front. So basically, this is how you play high ground in a very stacked lobby format. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to ensure that nobody can take high from them from the front or the back, which is one really, really smart thing to do. So basically, they just continue to play aggressive, and they try to keep applying pressure until around the final circle time. As you guys can see, they're finally in the final circle. They've killed about 3 more players, and what they're doing here, Saevid's deciding that he's going to drop down and go for kills, while Letshe stays up and plays for the heal off. Letshe obviously has 2 floppers, and he's definitely going to win the heal off. So once Saevid eventually drops down, Saevid gets 1 kill, And then he continues to basically apply pressure onto that other player while Letshe stays up top. This is a really good format. Basically, they're trying to play split right here. This player is not going to outlast both of them, especially the fact that Letshe has 2 floppers. So it's just, you know, a good practice when it comes to playing endgame competitively. And as you can see, they do end up winning.
Let's go!
So they end up getting the win. And honestly, this performance was really good just because of how they rotated during their mid-game, what fights they chose to take and what fights they didn't, how they managed their Storm Surge correctly, the proper ways of rotating when they're on high ground, keeping high ground for a long time. This was a fantastic performance from Letshe and Saevid. I'm very happy that they got third. I do believe they should have got first. If you guys watch my stream over on my Twitch channel, it'll be a link in the description. You guys do know that I think that this duo should have won. They played extremely good. But yeah, anyways, guys, that is the video. And basically, it's a VOD review of Letshe and Saevid. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord server. There's a link in the description. Use code SONATAFN in the Fortnite item shop if you guys did enjoy this video and you want to support me. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.